The Friday lunch rush is finally over, and boy, am I exhausted. This is my third job this year. I just can't seem to find the right fit. For now, working as a server in an upscale chain restaurant is the fit I'm trying. I'm working to finish college with a major in special education. When I first went to college 5 years ago, I had grand plans of becoming a CPA. I absolutely loved being able to find that one missing penny and felt giddy whenever I reconciled the balance sheet. But then I encountered cost accounting. Cost accounting is the bully of accounting courses. It beat me up, took my lunch money, and stole my tennis shoes. So I decided accounting wasn't for me. I've always wanted to help people, so after abandoning the idea of being an accountant, I began working on a dual major in psychology and art with the plan of being a children's therapist who uses art therapy. But once I started digging into psychology, I started to obsess about the possible, irrevocable damage I could do to such impressionable young minds. So, teaching it was. But do I really have a passion for teaching? Or is it just a safe, smart choice? Maybe I shouldn't have given up on cost accounting so quickly. Maybe I should have just changed professors instead of majors. Who am I kidding? It was too hard. And Lord help any child that ended up with me as their therapist. I mean, I can't figure myself out. How could I have thought I could help by providing therapy for anyone else? Why do I quit things so quickly? As quickly as I start them? Why is it so hard for me to make a decision and stick with it? Why am I so afraid of failing? Why am I talking to myself? Oh well, between psychology and teaching, I think that teaching will allow me to help others and hopefully not do any damage. I keep questioning if my current job is a good fit. I know it's temporary, and I have to do something to pay for college. At least I get to serve others and hopefully be a light in their day. I feel like a feather floating in the air, or like a single dangling, almost invisible thread of a spider's web, detached from anything of substance. I just wish that I was doing something more purpose-driven. My therapist says that my struggle with staying focused is one of the things that's symptomatic of my ADHD tendencies, while my constant ruminating thoughts or self-doubt are manifested out of my OCD tendencies. I say it's simply exhausting. So the perpetual spiraling whirlwind of my everyday life made accepting the invitation to go away for a weekend camping trip with my friends an offer that I could not, or at least would not, refuse. They should be here soon to pick me up, so we can head to the woods. We arrived at the campsite in the woods with plenty of daylight left for a nice long hike. We hiked for hours, talking, laughing, climbing, snacking. We had a great time. After the hike, we sat around the fire for a while. We roasted hot dogs and made s'mores. It was getting late, and my friends had decided to call it a night. I stayed up, sitting next to the fire pit. I couldn't go to bed until I knew for sure the fire was completely out. The scent of evergreen wafted through the air, mingling with the smell of the smoke from the dwindling campfire. That smell, mixed with the subtle crackling sound of the fire burning out, for most would likely be calming, as it created a connection with nature. But for me, it was all an odd assault on my senses, almost overwhelming. Thick, purplish hazy fog engulfed me. The air felt heavy and damp. The full moon illuminated the campground. I became distracted by my inner thoughts. This camping trip was supposed to be a reprieve from the chaos and noise of my everyday life. But now that I'm here, I find myself wondering, how is it possible that even out here in the middle of the dream-shade woods, away from the hustle and bustle of life, I still feel overwhelmed and anxious? I definitely had not anticipated that the chaos and noise was coming from within as much, if not more than, from without. The woods were quiet, but as usual, my mind was anything but. Thinking that a walk might help calm my ruminating thoughts, I set out into the foggy night. I wandered aimlessly through the woods. I'm sure I must have passed trees, bushes, streams, boulders, and woodland creatures, but all I noticed was how the moonbeams acted like spotlights through the purple haze as the lightning bugs and the twinkling stars seemed to be dancing on the magical stage that was the dream-shaped woods. Dancing to an inaudible melody. In the quiet night, my thoughts dance along with the choreography of nature, leaping, swaying, and twirling from one thought to the next. Some positive, uplifting, and reassuring. Others condemning, restraining, and halting. My thoughts, not just tonight, but typically, were like the sheer tiny silk threads of a spider's web. The spider intentionally weaves one thought together with the next, like a labyrinth that only the spider spinning the web and I can follow. But I always feel like my spider must be drunk. My thoughts were a web that a sober spider could not possibly weave or navigate. As I continued walking through the woods, I saw something in the distance, just over the hill and beyond the bend in the trail. In the thick haze, there seemed to be a strange glow, like a searchlight or a beacon. I stood still, trying to fight the urge to explore the source of the golden glowing light that seemed to be piercing the darkness, or more likely, was I standing still trying to fight the urge to turn and run back to the campground? Following the light would be insane. Logical people don't just chase danger, but courageous people don't live their life in fear. But I'm alone in the middle of the woods. If something were to happen, bravery isn't the absence of fear. It is being afraid, but not letting fear stop you. I was arguing with myself. That darn spider. Aspen, stop it. There is nothing to argue with yourself about. You have to do the safe, smart thing and turn around and go back to the campground. Back to the safety in numbers. Back to the known. No, 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 I'm going. I felt drawn by the light, afraid but moving forward. As I made it past the bend in the trail, the thoughts in my head seemed to be yelling at me. I don't think my feet are moving. You're afraid. You're not brave enough, not strong enough, not smart enough. You know this isn't something you can do. Who do you think you are? I had stopped walking. I could still turn back. I didn't have to explore. No one was making me confront my fears. No one would know if I didn't. That's it. I'm going back to the campground. That's the smart, safe, best choice. I turned and began to walk back along the trail, resolved that I wasn't acting out of fear, but out of sensibility. Besides, I hadn't lost anything out here in the woods. I had nothing to look for, no reason to explore the source of the light. Aspen. What? I heard my name. It was spoken softly, but intently. Was that the spider's web in my head? It sounded like it was someone or something outside of my head. But how could that be? It must be my thoughts playing games on me. Aspen, follow the light. There are truths that you need to learn. Come to the light.